I didn't see you there, Internet. Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotzeben and Friends, where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yeah.
And Rose.
Hi.
Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we have all played chapters 3 and 4 of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. And this one is a doozy. So, my summary. Layton, Phoenix, Maya, and Luke all begin their investigation, their 2-week investigation to help defend Espella. And to do that, they first deem it important to get a good night's rest back at the bakery. Luke and Maya, however, can't sleep and take it upon themselves to go looking for Espella's missing cat, Eve. Along the way, they bump into Darklaw, standing in front of a mysterious bell tower. She teases that there's one unsolved case in all of Labyrinthia, the murder of an alchemist. Maya and Luke find the cat and then head home. The next day, Layton is summoned to meet the storyteller, so he and Luke head that way, while Phoenix and Maya go visit Espella in her cell. They ask her why the townsfolk have such suspicion and animosity for her, and just before she's about to tell them, we cut back to Layton and Luke. There, they meet the storyteller, who asks them how they arrived in Labyrinthia, and reveals that the story is about to end very soon with the destruction of Bezella, the Great Witch. We then cut back to Phoenix and Maya, and Espella reveals she is the storyteller's daughter, and that people fear getting involved with her because it could mean they'll be killed by a witch, as has happened in the past. Phoenix and Maya take this news in stride, as it's nothing they haven't heard before, and decide to go investigate the alchemist's house, as they know the importance of solving unsolved cases, no matter how unrelated they appear. Here, they meet the alchemist's butler, John Grey Earl, who shows them around the house. We then jump back to Layton and Luke, and the storyteller teases that due to their interference, the next parade and trial would happen in 2 days instead of 2 weeks. Lastly, he prophesies that a man from afar would fall to a golden curse, and a woman from afar would be tried as a witch. Assuming these to be Phoenix and Maya, Layton and Luke rush to the alchemist's house. Of course, dealing with prophecy is a messy business. As Layton rushes into the house, he is seemingly turned into a gold statue with a witch's staff laying at Maya's feet. She's arrested and immediately brought to trial. In court, Phoenix prepares with Espella, who gets to be his plucky bridge bunny this time around. Again, 5 wacky witnesses are testifying, except this time, Luke is also one of them. The young lad has gotten swept up into the crowd's mob justice and demands Phoenix find who turned Layton to gold. Through a comical series of events, we break down several testimonies, cross-examine a parrot again, and eventually get Jean Grey Earl on the stand. Did you assume that Butler meant Jean was a guy? So did everyone else. And through a slightly messy scene, we reveal that Jean was actually disguising herself as a man to hide her true witch colors so that the townsfolk wouldn't be suspicious. Despite all this, the court case also sheds light that the alchemist did not get murdered by Jean, but instead killed killed himself, leaving a grim suicide note. However, Jean is still a witch and needs to get burned, so they try to toss her in anyway. But Espella confesses to being Bezella and says, if you burn me, then this is all over, and you don't need to burn any more witches, right? Everyone shrugs, does not give a definitive answer, and tosses Espella into the Iron Maiden burning machine. Maya, however, refuses to accept this ending and jumps into the way, helping Espella get free, but at the cost of her own life, as she gets lowered into the flames. Phoenix wails in agony as Maya Fey dies at the hands of some weirdo indoctrinated Ren Fair LARPers, and the Ace Attorney series ends here forever.
Damn.
So now you understand why it was so important that we played Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
It's been a nice podcast, everybody. Thanks for coming. It's a shame that Maya went into the nacho cheese dip, which is definitely real. And
I would-
totally not a stage prop now that I know that Maya went into it.
I think this is the part where I had to like definitively say to myself, yeah, I'm being Truman showed. This can't be happening. But also like that's exactly what someone in shock would do, is just say like, oh yeah, I'm being Truman showed. This isn't happening. So a lot of shit happened in this case, huh?
Yeah, I kept trying to edit my summary down further and further and cut more and more out, and it still ended up being massive. So, yeah, a lot of things happened in these two chapters.
We can all agree we're getting Truman showed at this point.
It would be wild if at the very end they actually are dying and then we just bring them back to life. But then like they actually say, no, but for real though, all of these deaths did happen.
Yeah, we're just hitting a magic undo button somewhere at the end, you think?
Maya did die for real, but she's okay now. So
she got better.
She got better. God, there's so much shit happening. I don't even... So like we start off with like
we could start with the investigation phase first, I guess. That's first chunk of walking around the town, right?
Yeah, lots of things happened.
we got to hang out with Maya and Luke, which is like not what I expected, but also a really charming experience of just hanging out with the two sidekicks.
Extremely cute. Just great stuff. We find out what Luke's special power is.
So here's my
After
thing.
teasing it, last episode.
I thought for sure that Luke would have used it while talking to Eve the cat in the earlier chapter, which is why I thought they weren't going to mention it. Luke can talk to animals, and he just can. They never explain this.
He just does that.
It's just something that it's just a British thing.
But not even other British people could do it. Only him.
Layton, he's got the Dr. Dolittle gene.
He's got the.
I just think it's a little unfair that Luke can still talk to animals, but Maya can't spirit channel.
I mean, Maya can. She just doesn't want to.
She could. Okay, so
if she tried to spirit channel the woman we just burned last time, you could figure this out really quick by whether you could spirit channel that woman or not.
She's not intelligent enough for that.
I mean, we could solve this. Honestly, there's a moment where, like, so Professor Layton gets turned to gold. Professor Layton is the murder victim here.
Mm-hmm.
And his arm just, like, fucking breaks off. Like, it's a part of the case that his arm breaks off and goes missing. And then they just, like, glue him back together, and they're like, it's great that he's fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
But there's
Thank
like
God nothing terrible happened.
Yeah, he'll be great. But there's a part where Maya's like, oh, don't worry, he'll definitely be back when we need him. And I'm like, Maya, are you gonna do it, Maya?
Maya,
she doesn't.
That'd be actually kind of wild if Maya fucking channeled Layton. Dude,
That would be so fucking funny.
See Maya turn into a Lego figure.
Honestly, if Maya didn't get put on trial this case, I was gonna bring up that it was weird that she hadn't got put on trial for murder yet. So
yeah,
I'm glad
it's just
we got
a rite
here.
of passage. Yeah,
Looks at my watch. Yeah, we're due.
Yeah, I felt like it was about time. It hadn't happened yet. I was like, man, weird that this hasn't gone on.
Yeah, so like we investigate with Luke and Maya go find a cat, and then after that, I don't remember what happens, but I do remember that they have to split up because Phoenix is allowed.
I blacked out.
What?
You're like, I forget what happens because you blacked out.
I solved
blacked
some
out.
puzzles.
Yeah, we saw some cute puzzles with Maya and Maya does several references to other Ace Attorney games that I wasn't prepared for. She says Safari, referencing that's wild. When she said, I was like, wait, what the fuck? You're aware of the past?
She says it multiple times this game. She's said it like once or twice before already. She says it like I think a total of 5 times throughout this entire game. It's wild.
It's a strange experience. I really enjoy the experience, but I also can't remember anything about it. It is blacked out of my mind. So they have to like split up, right? Because Phoenix is the only one that has the right to see Isabella in the jail cell, and Layton can't because he's not a defender or whatever.
And
so
he was also summoned by the storyteller as well.
Yeah,
so he's like, well, I guess this is a pretty good opportunity to talk to the head honcho. I should take it. Yeah, no.
So he goes to like the storyteller's tower. The tower has the same sun symbol that was inside of the library where they had the secret underground mural. Probably no connection.
It's probably fine.
Probably right.
Yeah. So the storyteller is objectively like, yeah, you two aren't supposed to be here, and neither is that fucking lawyer or that ghost girl, so I'm gonna kill one of you. And Layton goes, wait, what?
Does he mention Phoenix and Maya? Because the person he talks about is Carmine, right? Where he's like, that guy's not supposed to be here, and now you guys are here, and you know him.
Oh.
I don't remember him mentioning Phoenix and Maya.
I kind of grouped up the Layton Phoenix group.
Yeah, it makes sense, but also I'm like, if it's not explicitly said, I'm kind of like sus of it. I'm like, what are you gonna pull on me?
That's fair.
You
yeah,
stupid
that's
game.
Yeah, they're being sneaky, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he only mentions Layton and then Carmine. I'm pretty sure those are the only ones he mentions directly in that conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, also, just as a little fuck you, I'm going to speed up the time for the next parade and court case. That's going to be 2 days instead of 2 weeks. You thought you had some luxury, but instead, nope, it's the usual Ace Attorney time frame.
Yep. And also, one of you will die tonight.
Yeah. A man from afar is going to be turned to gold. Fall foul of a golden curse.
I think we can fix him.
So Layton does the thing where he's like, we gotta go rescue our new friends, and Luke's like, you got it, Professor, I'm a little British lad.
As he always states.
And Al gives him a letter, which is important because, that's just evidence for the case. That part's strange. Here's the thing that gets me, is the fact that, like, they had to come up with an artifice to, like, for Layton to realize where exactly Phoenix is. Because Phoenix goes and investigates the alchemist's house because that is a case from 3 months ago that was never resolved, and he thinks to himself, that's probably related to our case right now, despite having no basis for that. What was the actual fucking, like, connection that Phoenix made? Because I can't remember.
Don't worry about it.
Just gotta solve unsolved cases. He knows.
Yeah, no, it really is just that, I think. They're like, this is the only, like, because they say, like, hey, we can't go anywhere else, basically. This is the only unsolved case in all of Labyrinthia. I bet it's important somehow. And that's practically it.
I bet there's a lot of cases they think that got solved that didn't got solved. These Muppets, these evidence tampering Muppets simply love throwing each other into the Doritos pit. They are all about it.
Chekhov's unsolved murder.
Yeah, like they definitely burned a bunch of innocent puppets.
So, Christ alive. So, Phoenix and Maya are investigating the alchemist's house. There's a butler comes out named Jean Grey Earl. And the line that gets me here is the one that fucks me up the most, which is Maya going, wow, this is the first real butler I saw. And I thought to myself, wait, that's not true, Maya. You saw the other one. And then I remember the other one was Shelley, the fucking killer. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess that wasn't really a butler.
The other butler was the one from the hotel as well.
He wasn't a butler, he was a bellboy.
That
was a bellboy.
He was a bellboy. You got me there.
There you go. So this is the first real...
Jean is going to be important because
they look like a fucking Fire Emblem character.
Yeah, she's of the ruling anime people class, and so is the dead alchemist who was horribly murdered, apparently. This guy we've never heard of before.
Or so they say.
Also, they're like, oh, obviously only women can be witches. Men can't do any magic. And I was like, cool. I guess we didn't know that. And I was like, you figure out it's Jean pretty quickly because this is a case where you figure out the answer really quick, and then you have to like slog through all the Muppets like arguing with you, and like random Fire Emblem characters just being like, jump through these hoops. So it wasn't a surprise. It was more of just sort of like, I know how it happened. I have this evidence. Please let me present it.
I think.
But I was like, oh, diversity win. Men can do magic. Oh no, okay.
Yeah.
So men are weak in this universe.
Except for the
Wait.
storyteller.
I get the storyteller objectively doing magic. Just saying.
That's not magic, though. You know, it's storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Alchemy
magic if you're
also
God.
not magic, I guess.
So like.
No,
what?
yeah, alchemy is magic based, so they don't count that.
No, alchemy is not magic. Explicitly. Algebra is not magic. Explicitly stated
Alchemy's not magic because we are providing a service that the Muppets of the community deem useful. And therefore
Exactly.
it cannot possibly be magic.
Alchemy isn't magic because men can do it.
Bro. Did anyone? I immediately saw Jean Grey Earl, and I was like, "Is that a little girl? Like, what are you?" Like, I immediately assumed.
You were fooled. You were not
Tiago
fooled. You saw
homophobic
through
moments.
this.
I had that. So last episode, dear listeners, we talked about Rose Jr.'s bowl cut.
Yeah, that's
And this episode. Oh, there it is. That was kind of what I looked like.
Straight
Listen,
up. I'm not kidding. That's what Rose looked like in middle school.
Yep.
Rose Jr. looked like a Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
I mean, I was more of a Muppet, but I did have that haircut.
Right. Doing this bit is something that, I don't know, is a rite of passage, I guess, for all these kind of mystery games or even just mystery stories in general, is to do a switcheroo. Oh, you thought this character, presented as a boy, but actually they're a girl, that kind of thing. Like, that always happens in these.
Yeah.
And it's always kind of just a little eye-rolly, depending on how it's executed, right?
I love a good Shakespeare play. Like, listen.
Right.
My man did it right the first time, but...
It was just one of those things where, like, when I saw this character, I thought to myself, this character is very gendered, and then I just moved on. I never thought of, like, they're just like, oh, only fucking girls can be witches, and I'm like looking at this character, and I'm like, there's a solid chance this character is a witch, if you know what I'm saying.
Kind of unclear how
also
old
they're
she
anime.
is, too. Like,
she's like 14 or whatever. I just made that up.
yeah, it was like, how old are you? Like, at first I was like, oh, cool, a 12-year-old, like, butler probably wouldn't be a butler. By the way, you'd probably have like a footman or something. Like,
a what?
let's be real here. So like, a butler is like the head of the other servants. So if there's no other servants for you to like command, you're not really a butler.
You're just a servant.
What was the title that you just gave?
A footman? Or like
Is that real? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like a lower ranking. I read a lot of like Jane Austen, like bullshit. Like, I am.
The only Austin I know is Texas.
Jesus Christ.
I've never been there. I gotta say that.
I know it, but I know of it.
I know of it. The point being is that,
this is
like,
where I reveal I'm deeply into classic literature and a huge asshole.
Well, I believe in one of those things. Just wanted to leave.
The silence. We were all waiting.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the other half of the joke.
The classic literature part.
We know.
Anyway, it was fine. The case was fine.
The point being is that, like, as soon as they introduce this butler and they're supposed to be like, oh yeah, this butler is a boy and therefore cannot be a witch, I'm just like, okay, you guys keep saying this, and therefore I think it's not true.
Right.
Anyway, Maya and Phoenix go investigate an alchemist's home, which looks like a fucking Disney-ass brewery in the fucking room or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a gold goat in the basement.
Yeah.
And that's, like, relevant to the case?
I mean, it's setting the gold magic, turning to gold magic up on the shelf, right? So that you're like, as soon as you hear Layton's thing, the prediction from the storyteller, like, oh, man's gonna fall afoul of a golden curse, then you're like, oh no, Phoenix is right there. He's right next to the gold goat. What if he touches it and turns to gold too? Kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if he was just gonna get like alchemized by like touching the wrong like bottle or whatever.
Yeah, his investigative tendencies are gonna bite him in the ass finally, kind of thing. But of course,
Going in and touching all the evidence with his grubby little hands.
yeah. But of course, yeah, that's not the case, and it is actually, intended to lure Layton out there so that they can turn him into gold, quote unquote.
He gets turned into a gold statue, and this is the exact moment where I think to myself, yeah, all this is probably a Truman Show, because there's no way they're just gonna kill off the protagonist in case fucking 2. Or case 3, I guess.
We can fix him.
We can fix him. So he turns to the gold, his arm pops off because he fall out. And the wildest part is that, so what happens is that Luke and Layton take a horse to go to the alchemist's house, and Layton
That was such a cute still. Oh my goodness.
Layton gets there faster because he's a better gentleman and he rides horses better. So Luke gets in there, but outside the fucking building are 2 random characters, like a bard and a teacher. And he goes, "Excuse me, everybody, I have to go into this building because someone's about to die." And of course, all the other fucking characters get involved. And that's how we have the witnesses, is because Luke, Mrs. Teacher, Birdley the Bard, and some guy show up.
Yep, some guy shows back up.
When he was running through that animation, I thought to myself, God, fuck, not again. And, of course, it's Amir.
This guy's gonna be in every single court case.
He's gotta be someone's favorite puppet. Like someone on the staff had to love this guy in order to keep bringing him back.
I mean, listen, his name is Amir, and his new last name that he's given himself is Punchenbog.
He did not give himself that. That is his actual name. I refuse to believe that is not his birth name. That he was born.
It's not his Christian name.
No, I don't know if Christianity exists in the
That's true.
labyrinth.
These are heathen pagan muppets.
That's his storyteller given name. Okay. Amir Punchenbog.
Yep.
So
listen, the shape of his head, even, and everything, like, it's clear that he's here to show up, do something ridiculously stupid, and everybody beats up on him,
Yeah.
Every case.
Maybe. So Maya gets accused of being a witch because there's a fucking alchemist circle on the ground, and a literal witch appears from it, and turns Professor Layton into gold. And then that witch disappears, and everyone opens up the room, and Maya's there, the staff falls on the ground, Professor Layton falls on the ground, and all the witnesses see this shit. And then Phoenix pops his head out of the trap door like a fucking Shakespeare character and goes, "What's the hell happening down here?" Something that, like, so they really try to portray this thing as a locked room mystery. And I think the thing that gets me is that, like, was it really a locked room? Phoenix was in the basement. Is there not another secret entrance here? Are we sure there's not another entrance?
I mean, I guess there was no way out of the basement, but still, like, come on, guys.
There was a well.
There was a well.
There was a well. It's not the first time we would have seen a case where a well was involved as a means of transportation.
Yep.
Big brain. Well, just what I'm saying.
Yep.
But that's not the twist, right, for this. Instead, it's using the portal magic, essentially, that can only be used on the special portal painted walls.
Yeah.
They painted the wall with the portalable paint from Portal 2.
Yeah.
Except it's green and not white.
Why don't you just say Portal 1?
Because it didn't have the paint.
Okay. I guess
Portal 2 was the one that had the paint.
Yeah, Dess is correct.
I don't remember Portal 1 or 2 that well.
Oh, that's a shame. Those are good games.
You know what? Let's just stop right here and let's go replay Portal 1 and 2. We'll be back.
Interlude.
Bye-bye.
Go pick your best friend and go play Portal 2.
Yeah,
everybody
pause the podcast and just go play Portal.
Just play both Portal. Do a speed run. Play a speed run of Portal 1 and 2 and then come back.
Watching people speedrun Portal is wild.
The fucking hops you gotta do to fucking get to the right portal is crazy. Anyway,
Green
what
walls.
a good game.
So, like,
yeah,
the thing about a locked room mystery is that, like, they only have, like, one of 3 endings, and one of the endings you can get for a locked room mystery is simply the killer created an opening into the locker room, killed, but never actually entered the locker room. And that was kind of the case here. We talk about it in the case in which that we had to investigate these 4 fucks. I'm going to kill that bard with my bare fucking hands.
Oh, he's so much more annoying than the other Muppet Bard.
The other Muppet Bard has the decency to not show up in court.
Yeah, this guy, he looks fantastic.
Love him.
Listeners.
Yeah.
Amazing. This is the guy, when people talk about, like, your typical, like, horny bard in your D&D party, this is that guy. He just sucks, though.
His music also sucks. Like, the loop that he plays for his music is nightmarish.
And they kept putting him in just to, like, play that loop and do animations. I literally, like, lost time because I was button mashing so hard to get through everybody's text and animations that I would, like, select the wrong thing. This happened to me multiple times in this case. I'm not happy.
Can you remember the teacher's name?
I mean, unfortunately, no. I'm looking at a list of all the characters in this case right now.
Okay.
So I can.
I straight up, I'm gonna shot in the dark. Mrs. It starts with a C, right?
No.
Fuck. I don't have
It's a pun. It's a pun name.
Rose, what do you think?
I don't remember any of their names.
Fire and
water? What?
No, fire and
Primstone.
Primstone.
Yes, Primstone. Like prim and proper, but also like brimstone.
Here's the thing. Here's my thing. I thought she was gonna be the witch because it said Mrs. Primstone, and that's too close to brimstone. That's why I thought she was.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
Maybe they did that on purpose. We had Mrs. Primstone, a Birdly the Bard. We had a mere puncher bag. When Luke showed up on that stand, my game crashed. That's how stressed I was.
I know.
Oh my god.
This is very funny.
I went the opposite way. I was immediately like, all right, Luke, time to die. Like, sorry, little guy. You see me.
You've betrayed your friends.
Yeah.
No mercy.
No, if you come up against me on the witness stand, I'm killing you.
Luke, I will kill you in court.
I will kill you in court.
I will wring the stuffing out of your neck, I swear to God.
I was like, he does, and it was so funny, like, when he did his little angry stomping, it was so loud. I was like, this, like, 6-year-old is shaking this, like, solid brick building.
The thing about Luke that's very important to remember is that he's still, like, 10 years old, and he was up all night crying because he lost his best friend, the Professor, and he blamed Maya for it, so he got wrapped up in all of it. And that's why he was very upset at Maya and was like, Mr. Wright, send Maya to the principal's office immediately.
Yeah. I've been like, a realistic...
I want this twink obliterated.
Realistic portrayal of a child. Like, I'll give him points for that. That's what a 10-year-old would do, and I'm still gonna kill him in court.
Yeah, so we have to, like, go through all their testimony. Mrs. Primstone has nothing to offer because straight up what she saw was incorrect, but she'll never admit it. Her catchphrase is "Oh dearie, dearie me." Birdly,
that's the bird.
No, her catchphrase is "Oh dearie, dearie me," and the bird copies it.
Oh, right. Yes,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Birdly the Bard has a parrot named Cracker, and this is relevant. The case, because Birdly has nothing of value to say at all. Like, we never even straight up check his testimony to contradict it. Like, he's literally just there to sing songs.
He sucks. I hate him.
Amir Puncherbag is dressed up all in gold and glamour. He got his ride pimped out by Exhibit. It's now covered in fucking gems and shit.
Yeah.
And this is the plot point as well. And I remember Phoenix going, "What the fuck is happening over there?" And fucking Zacharias Barnum was going, "Don't talk about him, please."
Literally,
it
Zach's
is
like,
funny.
"Do not call this man to the stand." And I'm kind of getting the impression that this guy is in every court case.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's
Barnum's
why, like, all of the other Muppets are shitting on him so hard.
Because he always puts himself in the center of the witness stand. He always wants to, be a witness all the time.
Kind of like Lotta Hart.
It's great.
But, like, drunker.
Drunk Lotta Hart. It's kind of wild because, like, at 2 separate instances, like, a fucking new Muppet from the stands has to come down and kick this dude's ass too. Like,
Right.
he's like, I got this gold from nowhere, and then the fucking local merchant goes, Emir Punchbag, you stupid son of a bitch! You sold me a gold arm!
How was I, he's like, I can't believe you sold me evidence in a murder mystery. Are you serious, Emir? You bastard. Yeah, and he runs down there and testifies against Emir so that you can find out that, yes, when Layton's gold arm broke off, Emir saw it, picked it up, and immediately pawned it for as much gold as he could.
Literally, its weight in gold.
Yeah.
He just stole his arm.
He didn't know it was an arm. He saw it pointing straight up, as if it was a sign saying to move on to the future. I really thought this was going to be relevant to the court case, that Layton's arm was pointing at something, because I was like, is it pointing at a thing that we should know about? No, it just felt like that. But it turned out it falling was relevant, because a lot of shit, they go like, oh, Maya dropped the magic staff, and it's like, no, if she dropped it, Layton's arm wouldn't be pointing straight up. And then he goes, well, maybe she dropped it after, and then we have to like establish a timeline for all this shit. And I think it's very interesting that we keep having magic court cases, but it keeps coming down to like, all right, but we actually have to establish a time, motive, and event. Like, despite this being a wizard murder, we have to establish why.
Also, I'm fucking sick of Zach, because he keeps being like, I don't care what a witch's motive is. Being a witch is the crime, and there's no need to establish motive. And then, like, literally 2 seconds later, he's like, yeah, but what's your motive for what's your motive? You have to prove a motive. And I'm like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
I've had it with these Fire Emblem characters. I've had it with these puppets.
Wait, no, leave the puppets
It really
alone.
stood out because it happened like within 3 sentences of each other. I think was that one. Where he's like, I don't need to prove a motive. You do though. It's just like the epitome of all the
That's Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
That's fucking Ace Attorney.
At least
all the
Miles
prosecutorial-
pretends he needs a motive. He'll make one up sometimes, but like he
He at
acknowledges
least
that he
pretends.
needs one.
Like, the thing about other prosecutors is that they tend to have like a very shaky motive, but like a motive nonetheless. But like, this is the one where Zacharias is straight up like, witches don't need motives, they're evil, and then goes, but why though? And like, he goes on to say like, witches confound and confuse the human mind with their evil magics. And then in response, Luke goes, okay, let's investigate the parrot. And he goes, you can't just do that. I was like, yeah, but the parrot's not human. That's what you said, Zacharias Barnum. Come on, Barnum, Barnum, let's get the parrot out.
The second I saw the parrot, I was like, oh boy, here we go, and I was right.
So, like, the parrot gives us the most vital point of the fucking thing, which is the spell Goldor was not used, or at least was not heard by the parrot. The spell Godor, which is a portal spell, was heard, and therefore while fucking Espella is on the bench, she's going through the goddamn book being like, I found the spell Godor, lets you make a portal through green walls, and that's like the most specific magic we've had so far. Is the one where it has to be made through green walls.
I like that we're getting into like
green
actual,
screen the portal in.
Yeah, like actual components here. Like, you need this to do this. This only works in a certain situation.
I like, everyone thinks, oh yeah, the both people were killed by a familiar because that's what the last case was used. And it's like, no, can you prove it though? And he goes, I don't need to prove it. It was a magic spell. You proved that it wasn't. And it's like, oh my fucking god. Okay, fine, I guess. Whatever. Super fucking funny that Layton is still on the bench with you. And as a gold statue.
The bits with Maya and Luke moving, or Maya and, or not Maya and Luke. Espella and Luke moving, Layton's statue so that he points along with Phoenix.
He does the twist point.
Absolutely
so
delightful.
Good.
You see them down there with their little hats.
It's so good. It's perfect. The exact type of shit I want to be seeing.
I like it's very good. I love it. I can't believe that like they put the arm back onto Layton by having their expert craftsman do it. And it's like, Did
Super
they
glue.
melt? Do they melt the glue? Do they just use the new Tears of the Kingdom attack?
I was literally asking the same question when we played it. I said, "How did they do that?" And they're like, "Oh, the master did it." And I'm just like, "Yeah, but did they like solder it back on? How did they do that?"
I mean, like gold is solid gold, really heavy, but like super soft. Like
yeah.
The fact that he didn't get like horribly dented falling is kind of crazy.
No, he definitely has a soft spot, like, in several parts of his body
Yeah,
now.
like he's damaged.
He's gonna come back and be a human and be like, why is there a bunch of dents in me?
He's tempered chocolate, so he snaps really easily.
Oh my god.
Oh, poor Professor.
So we have to establish that, yeah, the familiar spell wasn't used, and that this gem is a fake, and then they establish that there's a way to test if gems are real, and it's to put it in water. If it floats, it's magic. If it's not, if it doesn't float, it's fake. And I'm just like, are there any? I actually had to sit to myself in real life and ask myself, are there any minerals that can float in water? Because now I'm curious. Are there? I feel like he mentions one too. He goes, yeah, except for sopiolite, and I'm like, what? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I'm not very good at.
I mean, like, there's some rocks that can float because they have like lots of like porous, air pockets in them, that kind of stuff, like pumice and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's much beyond that, but
I thought it was pumice.
Pumice. Yeah,
like a pumice stone.
Pumice is probably correct, right?
It's a pumice stone.
One of those words.
You said it, and I'm like, somebody in the comments.
There's no way to know, and we'll never be able to find out.
Curse of being a person kid who like reads a whole bunch of books but doesn't talk about them, right?
Yeah.
Ancient curse.
Honestly, if you told me it was pumice and like if you stood by it, I would have believed you. I would have switched my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, like I said, there's absolutely no
Just
way
say
for us to know the truth.
Yeah,
confidently enough, and it'll be fine, right? So they and since they prove that the one gem is fake, then they're like, well, where could the real gem have gone? And you go, well, funnily enough, I know that there's somebody who had a gem on their outfit and now doesn't.
My friend, Jean Grey Earl, the butler did it in this clue-ass mystery.
The Fire Emblem
butler, who definitely has like stats.
Yep.
So we have to accuse Jean Grey Earl of going onto the stand. At this point, we just get Brimstone out of here. Brimstone does not matter anymore. Her testimony.
Wish they got rid of the bard instead.
Well, you can't forget that Amir Punchabag hires the bard to be his personal bard. So wherever Amir goes, the bard also has to go.
I wish I could forget. This
so
is
now
a case of annoying witnesses, except for Luke. Luke can stay.
Luke is fine. Luke is the only one I won't kill in this stand right now. So the new witness stand, essentially, Brimstone gets switched out with Jean Grey Earl. And then later, there is another Muppet that gets introduced to the witness stand. And I actually really like her a lot. I like Mailer. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's really cute.
Letty Mailer. Yeah.
Letty Mailer.
Oh boy.
Do you not like her high-pitched voice?
No, I have some like audio sensory processing issues that I don't tend to talk about a lot. But oh my god, that scream was horrible.
I mean, Phoenix also felt that. If it made you feel any better,
everyone felt that.
Nobody liked it.
I think
they do like the high pitched whine, like tinnitus whine, kind of after she does her,
like when you get hit by a fucking stun grenade.
Yeah, a Half-Life grenade goes off in your face, and you get the high pitched whine afterwards. And Phoenix is like, "Oh, my ears!" So yeah, they do play it up that she's got a very high pitched voice when she yells out.
Yeah, she yells like "hi" and then does that. I'm not doing it super loud right now because it's rude.
For Rose's sake.
Thank you.
And mine.
I'll
Dessa's
die.
sake.
It too bothered me.
I still really like her. I think she's really cute.
I think she's a cute design. Yeah, visually.
And she's a friend.
The Muppets look great.
The Muppets look great.
They're just annoying sometimes.
We continue to diss on Amir Punchabag literally almost this entire testimony as like we have to establish new stuff, which is like all right, Jean Grail, are you a boy or a girl? And their response is like, but can you prove that I would do it though before I answer that? And then people are like, yeah, Phoenix, prove it. And it's like, we never give a shit about this before. Guess we'll give a shit about it now. And then we do prove it, and then Jean Grail undoes their hair, and it's like this long, like, hair that she has, and I'm just like, this
undoes her long hair, and it's just long hair.
What if it was still short the whole time, though?
Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah, like, why does that matter?
This long hair reveal was not necessary.
No.
I understand that, like...
But girls have long hair, though.
Dude, I have long hair.
Well, I'm looking.
I also have long hair. It's just so funny that it, like, hits all the, like... Well, you gotta have, like, a animation that shows a change from the character from boy mode to girl mode.
Wait,
so...
I probably have the shortest hair, and
Des, how short is your hair right now?
My hair is longer than Ben's.
Okay, I was about to say, like, I think...
I haven't
cut my hair in, like,
I need
3
a haircut
years.
real bad, but, like, I still probably have the shortest hair.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
The point being is that, like, that reveal I saw it when this wasn't necessary, but also, like, thank you for the visual indicator, I guess. Also, I looked at this character and I thought to myself, this character could be whatever gender they wanted to be, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I wonder if it's more just like a thing where they're just like, it's like, even though it's really cheesy and dopey, it's still like an indicator that this is after the events of telling a certain part of the story, so you don't kind of get lost.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
it's
that
just like a game design thing.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more of like a visual indicator, right? So that you can go, okay, this is this point, this is.
It's not inherently like, oh, it's a girl, they have long hair. It's more like, okay, she put her hair down, so now we've already told the story, so we're post story as a visual indicator.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just weird.
It just still falls into all the tropes, right?
Yeah.
Yes. No, it does.
It still
yes.
falls into
But,
all
like,
the exact tropes, right?
Yeah.
I would have appreciated it more if this game would establish.
Maybe I think I'm giving them too much credit. I take it back.
I just think that, like, it would have been interesting if they established the fact that, like, males could be witches too. Because if they did that, that means that I would not automatically assume that every female witness on the stage is a witch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
Like,
I think
ahead.
we're right in saying that women do witchcraft and men just do alchemy, and it's okay. I think that's probably where we're at here.
That's always how it's been.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, anyways.
I think it would have been sweet though if we somehow managed to accuse Birdley the Bard of being a witch and get him killed just for being annoying.
Yeah.
Treading
new ground.
killing bards. So we have to establish way more stuff, yada yada. Jean Grail did it because she had motive, quote unquote. She had means and opportunity, which was she was in the other room where they could put a portal through. The staff fell after the incident occurred, which means that Professor Layton's arm would not have been sticking straight up for Amir to steal, and then you have to connect it to the same murder from 3 months ago, and that's the moment where I'm just like, you can't just fucking connect two murders together if they're in the same location.
They're connecting the dots.
But like, what dots?
Exactly. They didn't connect shit. They connected them.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's really just the green wall. The fact that the green wall was still there 3 months ago. That's kind of the main thing going on there.
Real talk, as a murderer, I would have repainted my wall.
Yeah.
But you never know when you need another portal.
Rookie mistake.
I mean, she kind of just goes like, well, I'm going to be caught, and that's okay because I am a murderer and I, like, killed my father figure, so...
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just get caught and die, and then she just doesn't get caught.
Right. Literally ripped to her, but I'm different. But, like, I simply would not get caught.
Yeah.
So, like, we have to establish her sad backstory in which that, like, I'm a little, the reason I killed, my father figure, the alchemist, is because he saw a very scary event, which was a lightning bolt hit a random point in the air, and then a bell tower magically appeared out of the flames.
Yes.
Now, why is this not part of the case? Why is this magical event not the fucking setting place for this murder mystery? That's so bizarre. Why are we not talking about this bell tower thing? Why is everyone?
I'm sure
we
that'll
can't
be
go there
critical
yet.
later.
That's the next area.
Chekhov's lightning appearing bell tower.
Like, the alchemist sees this and goes, "I will now kill myself." Like,
yeah. No, basically.
I bet there's some like wild prophecy that we're gonna have to uncover in the next. Yeah, I have some predictions for sure. But...
Oh yeah, mad theory crafting happening right now because of this bell tower.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me that this bell tower is, like, not a huge factor in this case, despite it being the most obviously magical shit possible.
Right.
I thought it was
But
gonna...
yeah.
Oh, the storyteller put it there. We don't ask questions.
Oh my god, the storyteller. I thought that this was going to, like, make a place setting for the idea of, like, invisibility magic, because we sort of already had invisibility magic and also fire magic. So I was like, oh, maybe the other two spells will be relevant in this case as well. Nope, not at all. The bell tower happened. The bell tower only exists to be a reason why the alchemist chooses a way out, essentially. And it's like,
right.
Okay, I guess. I mean, should we just move? I guess we moved on. I'm hung up on the bell tower.
It's gonna be the next case for sure.
Yeah, I'm not over the bell tower, but apparently everyone in Muppet Court is over the bell tower.
Oh well, yes. To them, it's not very exciting because magic just happens, you know.
That was the most magical shit I saw in my entire life. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
someone Chris Angel'd a bell tower into the fucking square. What do you mean?
Chris Angel. No, I'm saying it's weird. I think the Muppets are like, oh, this is crazy, but that must be just
happens
magic.
Sometimes.
The Muppet / Fire Emblem Court, it does not view this as necessary.
They're investigating it, but they don't seem like super bothered.
I was really hoping that the alchemist was gonna spend his time researching a way to turn something from gold back into its original form, so that way we have an artifice for why Layton comes back. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem the case.
Well, Jean is like, oh, I'm looking for a way, but the Inquisition took all of me and my master's like alchemy supplies and all of our notes and like shit, and they haven't given it back. So...
Also, Amir took some shit too.
Also, Amir is just stealing anything he can get his hands on.
Amir stole a funny-looking bottle with a skull and crossbones on it that he's been drinking out of this entire court case. And all of us go, hey, Amir, what's up with that jar? And he goes, nothing. And fucking Jean girls, did you just steal poison from the fucking care case? And he goes, well, there's no poison in it. It was just an empty jar.
It reminds me of in my favorite Terry Pratchett book, or Terry Pratchett series, the Tiffany Aching trilogy. I don't know how many there ended up being. There's those funny little guys, and they steal some poison and are drinking it because they think the skull means it's really strong.
Oh my god!
That was the whole time. That's all I was thinking of.
Was Amir Podgerbag stealing and drinking poison?
Yeah, I was like, oh, he thought the skull meant it was strong. I've seen this bit before.
I really thought he was gonna die on the stand.
Yeah, me too.
I really thought that
he has one line where he's like, "Good thing I washed it out really good before I started using it to drink out of." It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
I don't think he's actually smart enough for that, but
I know. Well. I was gonna say that doesn't sound like you, Mir.
So yeah,
so
go ahead.
How do you know? We've only done it for 2 court cases.
I feel like I've known it my entire life, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Jean, the whole reason that she wanted to even kill her alchemist father figure in the first place was because she thought he was going to turn her over to the storyteller and expose her as a witch.
Yeah.
And that's because she caught a few glimpses of a letter he was writing in which he said something like, I have to expose everything and reveal the truth. But she never read the whole letter. And in fact, after she strangles him, which granted, of course, then we realize he was already dead at the time, which is why he didn't fight back against the strangling. So, don't worry about it. And she grabs this letter, but then never burns it, never reads it, never does anything with it, just keeps it on her as a memento.
That is...
And then everybody's like, so why didn't you read it? She's like, I don't know.
I couldn't bear the facts. Like, what if we... So, here's another thing.
And so they read it in court.
They read the letter in court, and it's like the saddest shit, because like it actually has nothing to do with Jean at all. Like, it's straight up like, I'm killing myself for my own reasons, and also because I'm hiding a secret that only me and the storyteller, my personal friend, knows. And it's like, wait, your personal friend's the storyteller? That's... Seems like we should talk about that, but I guess we never will. So, here's another thing about this court case that kind of stuck out to me, was the fact that, like, in one of the court sketches, we see a trail of red liquid coming out of his mouth, the victim's mouth. And it said that was because he bit his tongue during the strangulation. I thought for a split second what was going to happen is that when you take the poison, it causes you to grind your teeth. Because when Amir took the poison as well, well, the soporific, to be clear, he also took a soporific. Because for some reason, Amir is just all up in this fucking case.
Listen, if you just are in an alchemist's office, what you should do is grab the nearest bottle and drink it and see what happens.
Luckily, it was tomato juice, but who knows?
Tomato juice with a sleeping potion in it.
He didn't know there was a potion in it.
Jean brings the alchemist a full uncorked bottle of corked bottle of tomato juice every night. Every night, a full liter and a half of tomato juice.
It's not
have
tomato
you ever had?
juice.
Have you ever had the fucking V8 fruit juice? Shit's good. I drink a whole bottle of that every night.
Oh my god! Wait, have you drank a whole bottle of that, Des?
I would if I could, but I can't.
We gotta see it. We gotta get you a V8. Now I'm curious about this. Oh,
What the? Obviously, coffee is the only beverage that I care about.
So Amir finds this corked bottle of fucking tomato juice and says, "I know, I'll drink it." He drinks it and then goes to bed immediately. And he says while he was going to bed, "Yeah, I was grinding my teeth a lot." I thought what was going to happen was that when you take the soporific, if you take too much of it, it might accidentally cause you to grind your teeth, which was going to kill the fucking alchemist because he cut his own tongue off and bled to death. And I thought that was going to be the murder resolution, was that like, oh, that's how he actually died. It wasn't strangulation. It was choking on his own blood because he fucking bit his own tongue off. But that was not the...
That feels a little too violent.
Yeah, because, we've never had two violent cases in Ace Attorney. We've never had a horrible image of a fucking hanging showed to us every 30 seconds during a court case.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, man.
Also, we burned people alive in this one.
Yeah.
I think they're
don't
fine.
worry about it.
I think they're fine, actually.
Do you think... Genuine question. Do you think the people who die as a result of magic or some shit like that, are they going to come back too? Is this alchemist guy going to come back, or is he just like dead for real?
So he's the anime, he's an anime person.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, I think that because he just straight up poisoned himself. There was no magic.
Yeah, he poisoned himself.
Like, he drank poison and died. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but
You think he's done?
I don't know for sure.
There was
think,
a body.
There is a body.
Yeah. I mean,
Whereas if I
drink...
understand your thought process here correctly, right? Anybody who goes into the fire pit, well, you're not seeing them afterwards, so who knows what's happening?
I think if you're being Truman Showed and you drink real poison, you will still die.
Yeah. They haven't gotten rid of all the poison on the Truman Show set.
I think if you get thrown into a pit and a bunch of sparklers shoot up and no one ever sees you again, you might not die. But if you drink real poison...
What about Robs and Mugs? They were burned.
Never saw those bodies.
True. Well, technically, I'm just saying that Layton does have a corpse right now. It just happens to be made out of gold.
Yeah.
Right.
We can fix him, though. He can get better.
I think it is not ridiculous to say that, I even think the corpses are fake. You know what I mean? Because it's not like we did a real autopsy on them. It's not like I cut them open and saw their fucking blood and organs. How do we know that's a real corpse?
Yeah.
I mean, medieval people would love chopping open dead bodies.
Yeah, you're right.
They're all about that. Oh, we can't do it because your body's got to be whole for the second coming of Jesus. But then they're all doing it anyways. They're super into it. So just saying.
I'm just thinking it's not unreasonable to think that the corpse that was left behind by the alchemist is a fake. I definitely think that there's some weird Westworld shit happening here. Because we can't just kill the professor off. That's crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gonna be fine.
Layton and Maya are both totally dead. For real.
For real.
Forever.
Forever.
We can fix Layton. Maya's gonna break out of the pit.
How do you explain Jean's tragic backstory?
Wait.
We get this like rug pull for her because when she talks about her tragic backstory, she's like, oh yeah, my parents gave me, I ran away from home from my parents because when I was a kid and I was a little kid witch, I turned my best friend into gold by accident. And they're like, you turned your best friend into gold? And she's like, yeah, it was so fucked up. And they're like, wow, that is pretty messed up. She's like, yeah, my best friend, a goat named Margaret.
God, Margaret.
I mean,
Margaret's
it's
just
still sad. Like,
I know,
kids can have a pet be their best friend.
No, it is. It is still sad. It's just funny because the game treats it as like this, oh, well, that's not as serious. That's what it actually, you didn't turn a person into gold. You just turned a goat into gold. And that's the goat we see down there in the basement.
Listen, when you're 6, there really isn't a difference.
Exactly.
Do you think the goat's like also in on it? Like, do you think the goat knows it's the Truman Show?
Much like Poison, the goat doesn't understand the Truman Show.
I'm just wondering who's in on it and who isn't, right? Like, I think
the alchemist was in on it, and maybe that's why he killed himself.
The storyteller's definitely in on it because he's God, and they literally say it's so weird to see Luke and Layton say the word God. That is,
I feel like it should be like abbreviated or like censored or something. Just when they say it, though.
I don't like that Layton and Luke are aware of a higher power.
I think Miss Darklaw is aware of the Truman Showing because she was in the outside world. She has been outside of the film set. Right. Zach doesn't know.
Also, we straight up see like as Espella go into like a hallucination mode for a little bit during this court case. Like while we're in the investigation phase, her eyes go like blank for a little bit and is like fucking.
And she hallucinates fire again.
Yeah.
Here's my prediction.
Okay.
So not the storyteller, the alchemist.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his name is. He writes and he's like, I have 2 regrets. One of them is that I'll leave Jean alone. She doesn't deserve this, She only used magic once in her life, and she'll definitely never do it again. And the other one is my daughter, who doesn't even know about me or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's Spella, right? Like,
you think Spella is
I think Spella's the alchemist's daughter,
and not the storyteller?
Yeah, that's what I think. Now maybe she is the witch. Who the fuck knows? It doesn't matter, does it? It's the Truman Show.
I think that it's not unreasonable to think that Espella is actually the daughter of the alchemist. My thing is this, right? Is that like once we're all said and done with like proving that Espella's a witch, but she didn't really kill the alchemist. The alchemist killed himself, and also she didn't turn Layton into gold because there was another witch there, and therefore it was not Maya. Like the judge even goes on to say, like, defender, you already proved that Maya wasn't the witch, so therefore you don't have to continue proving the truth. And he goes, no, but I want to see this through. And you see it through, right? And you find out that like, there was another witch, yada yada. Jean Grail doesn't have a reason to lie about that. Zacharias Barnum goes, all right, sounds good to me. It's time to dip the witch. Like, let's go, Jean. And
into the queso.
Into the queso you go. And here's the part that fucks me up, right? Is that Espella goes, no, I'll go in her place. And I'm like, real talk? Jean Grail is a murderer who tried to frame my friend Maya.
She didn't actually murder him.
To be fair, she didn't actually murder him, but she had the intent.
Yeah. I don't
He's
honestly.
already dead. Yeah.
She might not even have actually murdered him if he wasn't already dead. Like, she just kind of grabbed him and shook him around a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
through a wall. Like, you cannot get the leverage as, like, a 14-year-old child.
Well, technically,
Strangle a grown man.
if her plan worked properly, he would have been knocked out. So she would have been smothering a man to death. And
I'm just saying, you know.
I don't know if a 14-year-old has the strength
It
to
takes
strangle
a
an
lot,
adult who
a
could
lot of
simply
force.
just push the child away.
the adult would have been under the influence at this point.
Yeah.
The adult would have been knocked the fuck out.
I still think there's like
Right.
a medium chance she wouldn't have actually killed him, even if he was unconscious.
True.
She probably would, like,
But
you know.
but yeah, she did try to frame Maya still.
She tried to
did
frame
try to
Maya.
Or
100%.
she didn't even try to frame Maya. She tried to frame the other witch, and Maya got blamed.
Right.
The
Like,
point
she
Now,
says, yeah, I
at the
thought,
same point-
another witch, I'm saved. I'll blame her.
Right. Now I don't think she should go into the case though because of that. But
Personally speaking, I would not put myself in her spot. You know what I mean? Like, could not be me. If I was
Estella's
a better
putting
person
herself
than I.
in the spot of every other teenage girl that does something weird for the rest of forever.
Well, actually, more like teenage girl does something completely normal but is never taught that it's normal, so they think it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Therefore, not the girl's fault, but
What I'm
they
saying
get burned anyway.
is simply this. I would not have done the whole, like, oh, let me go. I'll go in her place. You know, I would not have pulled a Katniss Everdeen and go, I'll go. I volunteer. Fuck that. I'm not volunteering for Jean. But Espella's a better person than I am, so that happens. And then Maya decides to fucking pull a prison break at this exact moment.
yep.
I didn't
And
think Maya was going to stand for that. The second she did, I was like, mm-mm.
Maya, I think it's funny that Maya goes, all right, I'm not going to pull a prison break for Jean, but as soon as it's Spella, it's like, oh shit, we gotta fucking get her out of there.
Yep. Yep.
And, of course, this goes very poorly because it's an anime cutscene now.
Mhm.
And she goes into the funny Iron Maiden, and then she goes into the funny fire, and then she does a funny scream, and then she's dead.
Yeah.
Phoenix watches,
And
Maya gets burned alive.
And
Yeah,
that's
the guards
end
are
of the
like holding
podcast,
Phoenix
folks.
back. Yeah, like they're holding Phoenix back, and he's going like, "No!" You know, it's like super dramatic music playing. It's like Maya, no! She gets burned up.
While this
and,
is happening, Luke legit just like pops out some like vents and like is
True,
removing
right?
panels from the wall and like getting a spell. Like,
It's like I found this secret passageway. Come on, let's go.
yeah, like he's good. How are they gonna fit the professor through the? It's
Don't worry
fine.
about it.
It's probably fine. Also, now what's gonna stop them from immediately also throwing Jean into the cheese? Like she's going in also immediately afterwards. Nothing was gained.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's no
Yeah.
reason not to burn Jean now, huh?
If they had also shown her escaping through Luke's little like cubby hole, I
It's
would
ve-
be perfectly happy.
Do you think the reason Luke was able to find this little cubby hole is because like a mouse told him?
Absolutely. I
Like
like
little-
that he talks to animals. I think it's extremely cute.
Dude, I want you to know that after playing like 3 fucking Layton, like I've played I think 4 or 5 at this point. Every time I see Luke talk to an animal, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, animal friend. It's always nice when he talks to a new animal friend because I'm like, ooh, a new little guy, a little guy for the team.
Mhm.
There's in the 3rd game, Unwound Future, he talks to like this rabbit that's like an escaped experiment rabbit, and he's like, yeah, I'm number 8, I smoke cigars. And Luke's like, hi, little sir, how's it going? And he goes, don't fucking talk to me.
Luke and Watership down, just like, hey.
Jesus Christ.
I love it.
PTSD rabbit movie.
Anyway, yeah. So now confirmed survivors of the group are Phoenix and Luke, which is the new team up. Oh, and Espella, I guess. Espella is also here. But it's not like she can show her face in court ever again, because if she does, she'll get killed. And it's not like, can Phoenix still show his face in court? Because he did try to fight a guard. But also, like, he
He
didn't
did
really...
a pretty solid job of it too.
He actually went at that fucking guard, too. He had no I can't believe Phoenix has no combat experience. That's great. We gotta train this dude to fight.
His head is
You gonna send Phoenix to Nam or something? Why are we talking like this?
He cannot get a concussion. His head is indestructible. The only thing that can harm him is a fire extinguisher. There's no fire
It doesn't even harm him.
extinguishers.
It doesn't even harm him in a way that matters.
It's his Achilles heel is a fire extinguisher.
I just think that Phoenix gets himself caught up in way too many murder mysteries to not know basic self-defense. Like, he literally got tased at the end of
Have
the
you
first
seen him
game.
in MVC3?
Yes, but even then, Maya's there to defend him.
Yeah, she does some of the. She's the one who pulls out the gun.
Exactly. So we gotta get Phoenix a gun. Oh,
Phoenix with a Glock.
It's Japanifornia. It's really hard to get a gun.
That's when Ace Attorney really starts.
that's
So
Grand Theft Auto Attorney.
yeah,
So like we end this case on a cliffhanger, which is Maya's dipped, Layton's gold, Espella escaped, Luke's in a cubbyhole, and Phoenix is now arrested by the guards. And that's where we left off. And I'm so stressed right now.
yeah.
Phoenix had
It's a
something
dark
very
time.
traumatic happen again.
I can't believe all this shit's happening. And
He watched both of the Faye sisters die. Well, he didn't watch Mia die, but he had to.
Maya's watched both of the Faye sisters die.
die true. I imagine here's what I imagine.
The
Where's
Faye
Pearl?
bloodline ends here.
Where's Pearl?
More
Where's
successful
Pearl?
than Morgan Le Fay ever was.
Morgan Le Fay should have just
Some
gone to
random Ren Fair assholes.
Morgan Le Fay should have just gone to Europe. She would have got it fucking handled.
Oh, Pearl and Lil Luke team up when
Dude, that'd be
Oh
she
yeah.
would kill him. He disrespected Mystic Maya. He would be dead.
Pearl.
She would have just leapt over the stand and just strangled all those Muppets.
She would suplex them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pearl would have ran
World-class
across the
athlete.
pond from Japanifornia to Europe, just running straight through the ocean.
Yeah, that's what we said on the when we were recording the video. Like that fucking lizard.
Exactly. Oh.
She would have solved
Yeah.
this long ago.
Oh my god, I actually just want... Now I legit just want, like, Luke, Maya, and Pearl hangout time. Just, like,
Yeah.
them getting burgers or some shit.
Watch the children do what children do.
Uh,
Cause mayhem.
Luke would never cause mayhem on purpose. He's a good little... He tries to be a gentleman. And he always tries to be nice to the ladies, because that's what...
He'll cause mayhem if it helps somebody out.
I'm trying to think of if he ever caused mayhem in any of the previous games. And I guess
He caused mayhem here.
he didn't cause
By
mayhem.
testifying.
Like, testifying is mayhem?
I
Yeah.
mean, this is the way he was testifying.
Some guy caused
Pounding on the desk
pandemonium.
like that.
It's because he was
But,
wrapped up.
Yeah. So I guess it sounded like there were some predictions still in the chamber, or did you get them all out?
I like to think that when they get dipped into the nachos cheese dip, there's actually just like a waiting room down there. Be like, congratulations, I hope you enjoyed the ride. And then
Make a little picture.
like a little picture of you getting dipped.
This is the picture of you getting lowered into the lava.
exactly.
You screaming in terror, like, yay!
Yay! And then like fucking
And then it costs $30 to get one picture printed on a keychain.
Kira's down there too. She's actually like an employee. The alchemist is down there. Any dead person.
Yeah, they're all just wearing like t-shirts and jeans now.
Yeah, like the alchemist has a T-shirt that says "I killed myself."
Jesus Christ.
That's actually a little too dark. Fucking yeah, no, I like to think that this is all one big amusement ride, which is funnier in my head, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case.
It's like the worst amusement park ever created.
No,
Jurassic Park gone wrong.
Jurassic Park gone wrong. Wait,
You're telling
even
me
more
Jurassic
wrong.
Park went right?
Yeah, Jurassic Park did go wrong, actually. Yeah, you're right.
um,
Jurassic Park gone even more wrong. So yeah. Rose, did you have any leftover predictions yet? Aside from your storyteller or alchemist
Yeah,
one?
Alchemist is. I'm guessing Alchemist is what's her name? Spella's real father.
I believe that.
That I'm still fine with and Miss Darklaw as the cat theory. I think that's okay. I'm not as 100% on it, but I think that's I think
That
that's
seems like
possible.
something that would happen.
Yeah,
The nacho cheese dip is definitely not real, and all those Muppets and anime girls are fine.
mhm.
I think that's probably it. Oh, we're gonna investigate the spontaneously appearing bell tower in the
Right.
next.
We gotta talk about the mysterious bell tower, gang. It is so scary. Like, how
We
why
have to.
we can't just bring that up and be like, oh, by the way, let's go to the house now. It fucks me up for real, for real.
All right. Well, then I think that'll wrap it up for this week then for these 2 chapters.
What a week.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you everybody for listening.
What a week.
You can follow the show on Twitter at Ace Attorney Pod, on co-host at Ace Attorney, or on our website, updatedautopsy.report. You can also follow our YouTube, which has the latest streams, or latest YouTube uploads, of Dessy and I playing through the game. You can follow me on pretty much all social media at Yotsuben. Dessy, where can people find you?
Right now, only on Twitter at Yes This Is Des.
And Tiago.
You can find me at Tiago S. Dutra on social media.
And Rose.
You can find me at Rose Nonsense in various locations.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you will rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Next episode, we'll be doing a slightly larger chunk. We will be doing chapters 5, 6, and 7 of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
Wait, for real, for real?
See you next time. For real, for real.
Oh, dear.
Bye.
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 I'm starting this case tomorrow.